So the last 4 days, we've been talking about Abraham and the land of Israel and the Torah, how Abraham was just a preparation for receiving the land of Israel and to receive the Torah. Abraham was, what we say, 400 years before the Torah was given, but he opened up the door to the ability and the desire to serve God precisely, according to every detail, and that was the birth of the Jewish people, and they went into Egypt, and they received the Torah. So Abraham, though, he began the whole process. But also the same thing with the land of Israel. God promised Abraham the land of Israel. So the Rebbe asked the question, that's what we're learning now. The Rebbe asked the question, good, okay, but we have the land of Israel already. We already got it. And let's say it's not the way it's supposed to be. Okay, the government and this, but we have the land of Israel. And also the Torah for sure we got. The Torah we received on Mount Sinai, we got the Torah. So the Rebbe said, well, not really. The fact is that we got the Torah, but we don't appreciate the Torah. We don't appreciate the godliness of the Torah. We don't appreciate the miracle of every word, every letter, every commandment of the Torah. The Torah is like a book, a religious book, a true religious book, right? The others are not true. Ours is true. But that's not the point of the Torah, right? Ours is the real manufacturer's instructions, and the others are not. That could be true, but that's not what the essence of the Torah is. The Torah is the will and the wisdom of God. So when a person learns the Torah and does the commandments, he should feel godliness. He should feel godly, not that he should feel religious. He should feel the Creator. Should feel something like Mount Sinai. That's what he should. So we didn't really totally receive the Torah yet. It's like we received a present from somebody. It's a closed box. A closed box. You know, you receive a computer, right? A computer. You don't know how to make it work. You know how to play little games or whatever, Pac-Man or something like that, and that's all you know how to do. You don't really know how to use the Torah properly, but feel the godliness in the commandments. Same thing in the land of Israel. The land of Israel, even if everybody was religious, and even if there was but the fact of the matter is that number one, we don't have all of Israel. God promised 10 lands to Abraham, and we only have 7. We never got the other 3. Never. From the time of Joshua, we don't have those 3 lands. Only Moshiach is going to bring them. And only Moshiach is going to reveal also the essence of what the Torah is. And not only that, all the Jews are not living in Israel. Israel is only complete when all the Jews are here. And that's only going to happen by means of Mashiach. Mashiach is going to build a temple, and all the Jews are going to come. Even Jews that don't know they're Jews, they're going to be awakened. And so we're seeing that that's the reason we learn about Abraham every year, because the Torah gives us power to actually, factually, really, how do you say, geologically, that's what it's called, politically, and reality, to have the whole land of Israel, and to factually really get the whole Torah. The land of Israel, the boundaries, and the Torah, the deepness, what it is. Okay. So says the Rebbe, this was all begun when Abraham circumcised himself. God promised it to him, right? He promised Abraham he's going to get the land of Israel, and the Jews are going to receive the Torah. Then he promised when Abraham was 75 years old. That's the beginning of this week's Torah portion. Lech Lecha. Abraham was 75. Excuse me. But what really got the thing rolling was when Abraham circumcised himself. What happened when he circumcised himself? Circumcision, that's really the point of the Torah and the land of Israel. The point of the Torah and the land of Israel is that God should be revealed in this physical world. That God should be revealed in every detail of this physical world. And that was begun. The first person to do this was Abraham. By making a circumcision, he revealed godliness in his physical body, and it remained there permanently. A permanent, not just a sign, but a permanent commandment. The word in Hebrew for commandment means connection. A permanent connection with the Creator. Before that, there was no such thing. A permanent connection with the Creator was when Abraham made the circumcision. And that's what the whole world is going to be through the Torah, if it's used properly, and through the land of Israel. In its wholeness. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Alpizeh, according to this, now we can understand the connection of joining the upper worlds and the lower worlds when the Torah was given. That's which was begun in this week's Torah portion, Lech Lecha. Lahemshech, to continue what it says afterwards, after Lech Lecha, that God told Abraham, go to the land I will show you. Namely, God promised and gave the land of Israel to Abraham and his offspring forever. Ad olam. That's what it says in this week's Torah portion. Ad until B'brit Bein HaBetarim, until excuse me. God said to Abraham, Lech Lecha, go from your land. As soon as Abraham did, so then God made a covenant with him. It says between the pieces. He told Abraham to slaughter certain animals, cut them in half, put them on two sides, and then Abraham and God's presence, whatever that is, went between them. And God, that's called the covenant between the pieces. Betarim is the pieces. And God said, L'zarachan atati et ha'oretz hazot. To your offspring, I give this land forever. The tinata given in the land of Israel to Abraham is in order that Abraham and his offspring after him would transform and change the physical world and make it into the land of Israel, beginning with Canaan, the land of Israel. That the land of Israel would begin to show that God can be revealed in this physical world. Dira lo b'tachtonim, the world becomes a dwelling for God. B'kibush Eretz Israel, when the Jewish people conquered the land of Israel, by means of the Jewish people and the serving, working in it, this came especially, this came to the total revelation of serving God by joining the upper worlds and the lower worlds. That's what God wants. That's the whole idea of Matan Torah. Matan Torah, God personally revealed himself, his wisdom, his being, face to face, it says. The Jewish people saw God, they knew God. Who knows what that means? It says their souls jumped out of their bodies. But what it means simply is that this world is being created by that God that revealed himself to the Jewish people at Sinai. This came from Abraham. They elevated the physical land, the material, mundane world, and they made from it a dwelling for God. Therefore, Shlemus, Kayom, mitzvahs, the completion of doing the commandments that were given at the giving of the Torah, is only in the land of Israel. In the land of Israel, there's many, many mitzvahs. I don't remember how many there are that can only be done in the land of Israel when there's the Holy Temple. Only in the land of Israel when there's the Holy Temple. And some of them can only be done in the land of Israel, the Holy Temple, when all the Jews are there. But let's just talk about the land. There's certain commandments. Only in the land of Israel can all the commandments be done. Why? God rules the whole world. The whole world belongs to God. And even more, what do we care about the world? You'll do the commandments in order to go to heaven. What is the difference? Where you make the commandments? Right? You do the commandments, you do what God wants, you go to heaven, that's all. So that's not the point. You're missing the whole entire point. The point is, if you do the commandments, not you go to heaven, you bring God here. You reveal God in this world. You just reveal what's already there. So that's why God gave the Jewish people, specifically the land of Israel, a physical land, and it's theirs forever, in order that the Jewish people should refine the world. That this is the whole connection with Lech Lecha, what God said to Abraham, to the land that I showed you. That's the completion of the commandment of circumcision. Until Abraham went to the land of Israel, and God gave the whole entire land to Abraham. Both of them, the fact that Abraham went to Israel, that's God said, Lech Lecha, go from your place. God sent him to Israel. And then God promised him it's going to be yours forever. These two things are one continuation. God gave Abraham the power. He empowered him. And this is also the beginning of joining God, the creator, with the creation, the uppers with the lowers. That this was brought about in Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai, God gave us an example of what this is. And by the way, we've said it before, but the Ramban also says that the Holy of Holies in the Holy Temple, the Holy of Holies, that was, how you say, the giving of the Torah. The same revelation that was at the giving of the Torah was in miniature in the Holy of Holies. And when Moshiach comes, that revelation is going to be in the whole world. Because what was revealed there, the truth, that God is creating everything. That was revealed, but it was too intense in Mount Sinai, and it was also too intense when it was in the Holy Temple. Only one person could go there, and only one time, a few minutes of the year, could he go into this Holy of Holies. But eventually it's going to be revealed everywhere. That's the joining of the heaven and the earth, the joining of spiritual with physical that Abraham began. We can say that this is also like the circumcision. The circumcision, this also indicates the revelation of God in a physical body, human being. Similar, we can also say the land of Israel. This is the completion of a dwelling of God in the world. And that's the whole goal of Judaism. Alpis, according to this, now we can understand what it means. Lech Lecha, why is it the preparation for the giving of the Torah? Since that the service of God has to be always in a way of moving in a way which is incomparable. You have to move to be a different person than you were a moment ago. Like it's expressed in Lech Lecha itself. This includes also the idea of giving of the Torah. So it's understood, therefore, always you have to be moving. This is a preparation for the giving of the Torah. And don't be stable, right? That's the difference between someone who's young and someone who's old. A person who's old, he's not mobile. He's not mobile. He becomes more like a plant stuck in one place. But that's not really alive. Animals have the advantage that they're not stuck in one place. They can move around, but they're stuck in themselves. They can't go outside of themselves. The human beings, they can go outside of themselves. They can go from one to the other. But by nature, they can't connect to God, the infinite. The Jewish people have the advantage that not only are they not stuck in one place physically, they're not even stuck in one place spiritually. They can not only go out of themselves sociologically with other people, but also they can go outside of the creation and be connected to the Creator, constantly moving. That's being really mobile. That's what God said to Abraham. Be mobile. Start to move. Lech Lecha, go. The Kenyan, Eretz Israel, possessing the land of Israel, this is a preparation and a beginning of the giving of the Torah. When did the Jews begin to possess the land of Israel? With Abraham. And this depends that's the completion of the giving of the Torah. True, God gave the Torah 3,300 years ago, but it hasn't been completed until the upper worlds, God is really revealed in the world, till the Holy of Holies is spread out in the whole world. Hari, moving so it's understood that all the time that there's missing in the completion of conquering the whole land of Israel, as it is now, that we don't have the 10 lands. And interestingly enough, somebody sent me, there was big elections in America the other day, and Trump won, one of the candidates won, and he's got very favorable relationships. His whole life that his father also, that very, how do you want to call it, favorable, a very, how do you say, revealed non-anti-Semitic. There's absolutely nothing in him that indicates in any way that he hates any of the races or despite what they said about him, and especially Jews. For some reason, he has only good things to say about the Jews, and he understands what's going on. He understands that what's going on, and there's all sorts of different types of Jews, and that you can't put them all into one category of bad or good. But the general category of Jews, and he said that the land of Israel is too small. I heard him say it. He said the land of Israel is too small. It has to be bigger. That's what he's. Who knows if it means anything? I regret even talking about it. But I mean, the fact of the matter is the days of the Moshiach. It's going to be. There was once a king like that. King, what was it? Cyrus. What do they call him? Cyrus. And he helped the Jews. He helped the Jews. He helped them go up and build the holy temple and everything. And the Sadducees, what do they call the Tzaddukim? They tried to stop. Okay. So therefore, as long as the Jews have not really taken over all the 10 lands and all the Jews living in Israel, so there's missing in the completion of what happened when God gave the Torah and the completion of doing the commandments. Now, I know we've said this so many times before, and I've said that sentence we've said it many times before. I've said that many times before. But the giving of the Torah, the idea that God took a whole entire nation out of slavery, 3 million people, and he took them to a certain place and he spoke to all of them at one time and told them what he wants and gave them his book, God, the creator of the universe. So there's no religion or group or philosophy or science fiction book even that even made up such a story. And that's the basis, factual, actual basis of the Jewish people, not just the Jewish religion. So God wants to be revealed in the world. That's the whole point. And the job of the Jewish people is to make it happen. But it has to be on God's terms. This says that's what God began with Abraham. He told Abraham to do all these really strange things to see if there's anyone in the world that's really willing to do exactly what God says and trust that God will repay. And in fact, God did not repay Abraham. He didn't give him the land of Israel. Abraham didn't get it, and Yitzchak didn't get it, and Yaakov didn't get it. Even Moses didn't get it, right? Only when Moses died 400 years later did God give the land of Israel. And even then he didn't give him the whole land of Israel to this very day. Then we're going to really go to the land that I will show you. That's going to be taking over the land of Israel totally, all the 10 lands. Then will be a completion of the Torah and the commandments, like we say, then the Torah will really be done according to the way God wants, like it will be in the future redemption. Therefore, all the time that we are found in a situation that's before the redemption, and we don't have the whole land of Israel, then it's very, very relevant to us, the commandment that God made to Abraham. Go, leave your land, go to the land that I show you, and taking over the land of Israel complete. All the 10 lands. Now, how are we going to conquer the lands of Israel? If you remember, we learned last week that the non-Jews are going to give it to us willfully, without any wars, without any bloodshed, without any force. It'll be given to us. The non-Jews will be happy that the Jews will rule them, because it's not the Jews that are ruling them. The Jews are not rulers. We're not a nation of rulers. We're a nation of servants. We're servants of the creator of the universe. And the creator of the universe happens to be that he wants that there be somebody that expresses his will and desire in the physical world, and to stop thinking about going to heaven and all these divisions. Every human being is beloved by God, and the Jews have a job to tell the whole world this. That's supposed to be their job. When that happens, the non-Jews will willfully give us the lands, what it says in the Torah. It says in the Torah. They say, we want to do whatever it says in the Torah. What does it say in the Torah? You want us to cut off our legs? No. Don't do that. Give us the 3 lands. That's all we have to do. 3 lands. Take the lands. Do we have to leave? No, don't have to leave. You do the 7 Noahide commandments. Everybody stays where they are. No problems. What are the 7 Noahide commandments? Don't kill. Don't steal. Don't blaspheme. Don't worship idols. Right? Not that difficult. Don't do sexual things, all the LGBT out the window. Don't do it. So that's not so hard. That's not so difficult to make a perfect world. Let's try it and see if it works. And it works. It says there'll be a new Torah. Everyone will want to do what it says in the Torah. A new Torah, in addition to what it says already, that when God gave the Torah, and every day the Torah has to be brand new in our eyes, that this will be after the future redemption. Therefore, it will reach, that then will really reveal what it says, Lech Lecha, the level of going to the true height of what we're supposed to be. This is especially relevant to the internal ideas, the Kabbalistic ideas. The conquering of the 7 lands, this indicates on refining the 7 what's called emotional attributes of God and 7 emotional attributes of our soul. The 3 lands, the Kenyan, the Kenizia, and the Kadmoni, that represents refining our intellect, what we believe in, Chachma, how we understand that belief, Bina, and how we embody that belief. Activate, Dat. And nowadays, the Jewish people were only given 7 lands because now the main service we have is refining our personalities, refining our emotions, what we love, what we fear. The service of the 3 intellects now is mainly just to explain, understand how we can fix up our emotions. That's what we use our intellect for. But in the future, in other words, to encourage us to love God and not ourselves, to fear only God and not the world. But in the future, when the whole idea of serving God will be complete, and then the service will be the Gimel Mochin. The main service will be an intellect. Then it'll be a service in itself, understanding God, uniting with godliness by means of a total unification, unifying with the Creator. The wisdom of God, which is God and his wisdom are one. And by means of this, that we won't be using the Torah and contemplating God in order to fix up our personalities or fix up our relationship with God. A relationship with God emotionally will be okay. The only challenge will be to understand God, to put ourselves into higher and higher real awareness of the greatness of God, the good of God, the beauty of God, the pleasure of God, the power of God. And that's all intellectual. The Torah and God will be totally one. We'll reveal it. It'll be revealed that the Jewish people and the Torah and God are totally one. And the Torah is intellect. Therefore, we can see that the whole complete service of God is not just with our emotions like it is now, but specifically with all the 10 powers of our soul. Understanding God will be a real achievement. A real achievement. Now understanding God it's interesting, right? It's interesting, but it's not an achievement in itself. It's an interesting thing. The main achievement now is that we can fix ourselves up. We can actually come to love God. We can fear God. And we're not so selfish anymore. This is a big achievement. In the future, it won't be that way. In the future, we'll be automatically, we won't want to be selfish anymore. One thing, but the job will be not to get rid of the bad, to go into deeper levels of good. And in order to do that, you have to have deeper appreciation of good, of God, of truth. That's the 3 intellects. That's and the 7 emotions. That's all the 10 powers of the soul. 3 intellect and 7 emotions. This is how they are in the essence, in godly. Or what says, you should love God with all of your heart. That's the emotions. With all of your soul. That's in the intellect also. And all of your being. This is serving God, which is above any sort of limitation. That's like God said to Abraham, Lech Lecha. Also the 10 powers of man, until this is attached to what's me'od amiti. Like God said when he created man, after he created the world, it was very good. The preparation for all of this, we find in Lech Lecha me'artzecha. To go to the land that I show you, giving the land of Israel. Namely what? All 10 countries God gave to Abraham. It's waiting for us. God is hinting to us that it could be such a thing as total service of God. Also the completion of giving of the Torah. Then in addition to the revelation of the intellect of the Torah and the emotions that we come to love God, like we said, we call Lubavitcher, There will be the revelation of the emotions that's revealed by the 49 gates of understanding, which come into this world. That's 49 is 7 times 7. That's the emotions. As they are, we're giving of the Torah. There'll also be a revelation of the three intellect. We'll come to a new and new, constantly new appreciation of God, revealing the 50th gate. Until this is higher than any of the gates of understanding. It says a new Torah, the 50th gate of understanding. This is going to be the idea of the future redemption. Together with this tremendously high redemption and high revelation of the truth that there's going to be in the future, the three aspects of intellect, it'll also be drawn not just in the land of Israel, the 10 lands, but the whole world. Even the physical world, the whole entire physical world, that's hinted at by the letter of Kuf in the Kini and the Kinesi and the Kadmoni. The letter Kuf, that's the letter number 100. This comes down below, and the letter itself is one of the letters that comes below the line. See, a Kuf comes, all these letters are on the line. Rare is it that here's the letter Chaf comes below the line. See? The line. But all the others are, you make a line. The letter Kuf also comes below the line. This indicates a revelation below the word. That's 3 times Kuf. Kini, Kinesi, Kadmoni. That's 3 times coming below. That's a chazaka. It means it'll be here permanently. A permanent revelation of the essence of God in every detail of the world. Then the world will be filled, like it says, the world will be filled with the awareness of God like water fills the ocean. So everyone will be interested in godliness. I think maybe you can give an example, and I'm speaking off the top of my head, or maybe just speaking from my stomach. We see, like, just now was the big elections, right, in America. So we see that the media flooded the world with all sorts of false information, right? This candidate is a liar. He's the cheater. He's he hates everybody. He's a bigot. And the other candidate is an angel and is wonderful. And until people really honestly believed this. And little by little, they started to realize this is not true, but it's very hard for them to realize that, to that degree, there's never been such a thing. But how the flood of intellect can change the whole world. Flood of intellect. If on all of the news and all of the media in the world, it's saying how happy we are to be created by God, how happy we are to be in this physical world. What a miracle it is to be alive, to be able to think, to be able to speak, to be able to function in the world, to be able to listen to what I'm saying, to be able to speak to people who are listening. What an amazing, every instant is so amazingly miracle, and start telling good stories about good people. The whole world would change. The whole world would change. Instead of having movies about who is the hero, the guy who kills the most people, who knows the best karate chops and know the more pressure points and knows how to kill, people in this way and that way and poison this guy, right? There won't be things. People will be interested in doing more good and more good and more good. Nowadays, nobody even want to watch a movie like that. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Could be. So we can explain that's the world will be filled with the knowledge of God like the sea. Sea is the gematria 50. Ya, Yud, Mem, Sea. So intellect, it'll be a whole new intellect, a whole new awareness of the truth. The world will be filled with the awareness of the creator, that there is a creator and what the creator wants and how good the creator was and how close he is. It'll be filled like an ocean. The ocean is numerical value of 50. Yud is 10, 40. That's the numerical value of 50. According to this corresponds to the 50 gates of understanding. It'll be filled with mayim, water. This is also mayim rabim, means a lot of water that'll be filled with the knowledge of God. Will cover the world with all sorts of types of. Rega. Okay, I've got to go. I'm sorry. Wait a second.